YouTube, and welcome back to the Ringer 57 YouTube channel. Yesterday we ordered almost everything we need to wrap this bike up, short of the pistons and a gasket set. So right now we are off to Tennessee to go see Extreme Motorsports in person for the first time. We're going to drop off the top end so they can start doing the machine work, pay for the pistons, get them on the way, pick up our flat slides. And on the way back we're going to see if we can't get a rad support for my car out of the junkyard. Stress cracks are on the latch, and the latch came off with a chunk of radiator support. Never heard of that happening, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and get that dealt with. See ya in almost Kentucky. Well guys, we just got done at Extreme. There's not a lot to film there. It's a really small garage with a lot of work being done, so I didn't want to bother you guys. We do have the flat slides. They are freaking awesomely, ridiculously huge. I mean, look at the walls on these. They're paper freaking thin. And the best part, no more CV. Mechanical, holy freaking breathable. So, we'll get those hooked up tonight and make sure everything's going to work good on those. See if it shortens up my throttle throw. And eliminate the choke cable and the whole assembly, because it's mounted to the carbs now. So, is what it is, guys. That's 2.5 hours of driving this way. Now we're going to turn around and do 2.5 back. Oh, yeah. We are going ARP cylinder studs. He's going to go ahead and get those on the way with the pistons at the same time. Well, guys, we are back home-ish. We're about 8 miles from home, but 2.5 hours one way, 2.5 hours the other. It's been a very, very, very long day. We'll go ahead, we're going to go home, we're going to throw these carbs onto the cables and make sure everything's going to work that way. I don't know if I'm going to need different cables because it is a smaller cam, so it's more aggressive. It should be 1-to-1-ish, which means I'll have a quarter turn to wide open. It could be a little touchy considering it was well over half a turn before. And we'll eliminate the choke circuit, control, all that good jazz, because there's no point to having that. Just judging by the feeling, I'll have more here in a minute. Obviously, you guys are going to fast forward to this. These carbs are a bit heavier, but power advantage to them, and the fact that I had two major restrictions. Exhaust and carbs were my two huge restrictions on that freaking bike. The exhaust port sucked, the header sucked. Well, now I have the exhaust ports opened up, as you all know from the freaking 10 videos I did of it. And I've got that Vance & Hines competition exhaust. It's a P12002, or is 12002P. Anyway, that's on the way. That'll be here Tuesday. We'll have a video of unboxing all sorts of stuff on Tuesday. And that should open the exhaust up completely. The carburetors were my other restriction. They were 36mm CVs, not the greatest adjustability. And they were CV, no accelerator pump, no nothing special. They're decent for what they were, but they were about maxed out. I had 150 mains in it. So these I should be able to run like a 120 main in these and be able to keep up. These are 38mm flat slides, and they have tons of adjustability. So about 10 minutes, I'll start recording the next clip. You'll see it now. Alright guys, and here we sit. This is my factory CVs that have been pretty much maxed out. They got 150 mains. They weren't flowing as much as I needed. And like I said, there's CV. Here, let's flip this the right way. Now you can see there's some pretty drastic external differences. The biggest one being, let's get them real close side by side here so you guys can see. Look at the slide in there. Okay, the black. That is the opening. And it's got a nice velocity stacked shape here, but without vacuum on this side, they would not appropriately open themselves. You notice it moves freely of the others. That's because your throttle is actually controlling these butterflies, which apply vacuum, allow the vacuum to be moved from that side to this side, allowing it to weep into a diaphragm up here, and as the vacuum builds, it'd pull. Vacuum builds on this side based on the Venturi effect. Didn't have filters, didn't function appropriately. They're not the most efficient carbs in the world, but they did good. They worked really smooth. They were quite aggressive. But then you look at them and you look at these. There's a notable size difference on that slide. Okay. And throw a golf ball through them. So that's our biggest difference. The restriction is gone. Eliminated some components. This is the air side, engine side's back here. We'll flip and look at that. They should be the same external size. Yeah, they're the same size externally. No, they are not. Oh, crap. We might have just learned a lesson in 2.5. We're going to check. Alright, we found them. Dummy me, I put them with the valve springs. Whatever. They do fit. I can actually feel a lip in there on the bottom, which tells me I'll need to open them up a little bit. Nope, there we go. It went flush. Just wasn't seated nice. So, they fit. I'll probably have to cut that a little bit. So they're the same. It's an illusion. Externally, on both of these. But this is a 36 mil cut. This is thinner walled. It's 38 mil cut. This restricts down to 34 mil on the other side. This stays 38 mil all the way through. And like I was talking about a little earlier, here, I'm going to pull these off. Just give me a second here. Oh God, they're tight. There we go. Like I was talking about earlier on these being independent from each other and based off vacuum, these have got to be synced perfectly because they open mechanically. So that's what we got, guys. You will notice there's a vacuum line coming off the top of this hat that is tapped into just a standard vacuum feed from the intake side. Conveniently enough, this has 4 of them. So I will take, more than likely looking at it, this one off and put that line on it, and that'll go to my petcock, just the same as that one did, so it can open the vacuum shut off. We're going to run just a pull cable, so that's not a huge deal. I'll take the push cable off here in a minute. We'll set up a camera, do a quick frickin' pull apart on it. Got to pull the panels off anyway to spray them, and that's the end of what we're doing for this weekend, guys. We're going to start into videos again next Tuesday with the unboxing of everything coming in. We can completely lose this cable. I was only on a single cable, so where's my other? There it is. Yeah, this cable is going to get completely removed from the equation. Which ought to be fun. It's out of the way for now. Let's check. I think this one's pull. Yes, this one's pull. And pull is going to be bottom cable. Pain in the butt one to hook up to. The good news about these is I have a lot more room to hook these up than I did the old ones. So we're going to slide that cable in, yep, just like that. Bring it up. Holy crap. That might be an issue. Might be a big issue already. This maxed out. Maxed out on the adjuster. Completely maxed out. And we actually don't have too terribly much play. We got play. From the time it picks up, we are quarter turn. But we are way too long. We interrupt this important time lapse with an announcement. We found more cable length. So, originally the cable would have come up here, and then this is a deep pocket with a bevel that allowed the cable to run down here and down to the cable housing. And this one did the same thing, smooth bevel, and came down this way in order to avoid wear on the cam and wear on the cable. Now, in here, this is exactly the shape you see here. Sharp and sharp. Well, now it is smooth, and the cable will sit in this gap a little bit. It is what it is. It will cut through. But that gave me like an inch of cable shortening. So now the cable will come out of here. There, you kind of see the bevel I made. And make a bevel turn this way. And hopefully, that'll solve all my issues with cable length. Alright guys, that was the correct answer. We've got just a little bit of free play, which is what we're looking for, you know. I don't know, I usually just figure it on an 1/8 to 1/4 inch. I like to fall right in between those two somewhere-ish. So, that's where I like to be. I might take a little bit of the slack back out of it. And I've got adjustability up here still to work with. Not in the right direction, but I do have adjustability here. So I'm bottomed out. And I do realize, keep in mind I'm taking this back apart. That's why I didn't do this. There's 2 nuts here. One of these goes on the bottom side. I slid it on there and screwed it onto there so I didn't lose it because, well, this is a particularly pain in the butt thread to find. So when I do the final install, these will have one on the bottom, one on the top, sandwiching it to avoid damaging the threads in this plate. Got it? Okay. Anyway, you can see now we have threads sticking out to do so. Before, this end was flush with the bottom side of this plate. So I was dependent entirely on what threads are in this plate that have a wonderful slot cut in them. But we do have, let's see here, a little bit of cable play, which is what we want, so it doesn't bind and get stuck. But wow, I gotta take that throttle boss off. It's old cruise control. They function just beautifully, and they return well. The spring is freaking heavy, but I'm guessing it's heavy for a reason. I'm leaving it. We're going to go ahead and, per the suggestion of Extreme, and yes, these do go in here like so. They'll sit right about there. We're going to pull these carbs apart and just clean them out, make sure there's nothing plugged, and we're good to go. The reason we eliminated the choke circuit, because now the choke is mounted on the carburetors, the enrichener. So, hi-ho, hi-ho, we got extra cables for nothing that we're never going to use. The neck bearings will be here end of next week, rear wheel bearings next week, so we'll get those changed out and do the final torque on every piece of hardware we got here. We did spray the rear white. It's going to get wrapped. The wrap will be here the 12th, Tuesday. That's good. So we'll go ahead and get everything wrapped and buttoned up. For now, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully you have a beautiful remainder to your weekend. I'm going to have a lazy one. Thanks.